shoo away the Mutalisk. We see another storm go down, not much damage that time. So now HuK does have mostly gateway units, just Zealots, High Templar, Stalkers, and a few Sentries, the original 5 which he had created, still at full energy. Rhett doing his best with those Mutalisks, now getting an Ultralisk Cavern, about halfway done that, and producing a ton of Zerglings. At this point, he already has 124 Zerglings, about 34 on the way. So HuK does not know about that gold base. He could take it down if he chose to, but instead he's going to move up into the natural of Liquid Rhett. Rhett does have these Spine Crawlers, 5 of them, and he has all these Zerglings. If we the army tab, 5,700 for Rhett compared to the 4,000 of HuK. A lot of storms going down, trying to soften up the numbers of Mutalisks, moving those Mutalisks out of these storms, and those Templar quickly turning into Archons, not able to hit a lot of those Zerglings. Army tab plummeting for HuK at this point, so 3,000 compared to about 1,000. As soon as these Archons get finished up, it looks like Rhett is going to take down these destructible rocks and counterattack here. He does have a huge advantage, 3,300 compared to the 800, so about 2,500 minerals, larger army. We do have more Templar here, so they could storm against these Zerglings. Again, Zerglings very low HP, taken down quite easily by those storms, as well as the Archons with that splash damage and the plus damage against biological. More storms coming in here, softening up those Mutalisks, taking down a ton of them, and the rest of them down onto the orange and red life. So HuK needs to get more and more Stalkers in here. More storms coming in with the amulet, able to do storms immediately as Templar are warped in. So just a few Zerglings and Mutalisks here for Rhett. Going to try to do as much damage as possible and now pull back. If we look at the production tab, we see 8 Ultralisks on the way for Rhett. So maybe waiting for those Ultralisks to tank a lot of the damage for the Zerglings and the Mutalisks. Rhett expanding into this 4th base as well. So if we look at the income of both players, 62 to 58 Harvesters, pretty even at this point. HuK did get a 3rd up, and he's got a ton of Photon Cannons here, so he's going to be well defensed against Zerglings or Mutalisk harass. Overlord spread quite nicely for Rhett, so he's going to have a lot of vision on the map. If we check the mini-map right now, you can see most everything compared to HuK. Does have a few observers, but not as good as Rhett in the vision department. Looks like the Ultralisk popping out here, and along with his little Zergling buddy, is going to be taking down this destructible debris, and Rhett perhaps expanding there as well. See more and more Ultralisks queuing up, as well as Zerglings. Those Zerglings now 2-1, and they do have the Adrenal Gland upgrade. The Ultralisk looks like they do have the +2 armor from the Ultralisk Cavern, so those things are going to be tanks with 5 armor and 500 HP. Not very much that Storms can do against these Ultralisks. So HuK is going to try to focus Storms on these Zerglings, and perhaps focus down the Ultralisk with this Blink Stalkers. If we look at the army tab, both players losing most of their army a few minutes ago, but quickly macroing up again, almost 5,000, now 5,200 for Liquid Rhett, pushing through in the middle here. So out of position is HuK. He's going to try to get into position here quickly. Zergling's mostly going to be able to stream in here. A few storms taking him down, a great storm right there, taking down the majority of those Zerglings. Now it's mostly Ultralisk throwing storms at those, and we do see one Immortal coming in here, going to try to focus down the Ultralisk, doing bonus damage against the armored units. And the Ultralisk with that cleave going to be able to shred through a lot of these Zealots. Again, no speeds for those Zealots yet. The Stalker's trying to clean up these Ultralisks. Just a few Ultralisks yet left, most of them about half health, but half health is still about 200, 300 HP. See the Archons coming in, trying to tank damage for the Protoss army. A blink and able to snipe a few Ultralisks here, at least one there, but we do have more units coming for Rhett at this point. If we check the income tab, 59 to 62, both players pretty even, but Rhett does have this 4th, about to get up and saturated, as well as a 5th, which just popped. HuK still on 3, doing a little bit of a bad job keeping up with his Chrono Boost. Chrono boosting out his robotics facility, trying to get more Immortals to take on those Ultralisks. We see a few High Templar coming in here, getting decent storms on those Zerglings. Zerglings moving out of the way quickly, so not too many losses there. Zergling's going to test the waters, see what kind of forces HuK has. And now very important position in this map. Both players quite vulnerable. HuK at his 3rd, where he's doing most of his mining, and then Liquid Rhett at his 4th and his gold expansion, both susceptible to attack. See a lot of storms coming here, most of them missing, but then that 3rd one taking down a lot of the Zerglings. We see Ultralisks coming in, trying to tank for their Zerglings. Rhett perhaps needs to wait until all those storms go down and then stream in with these Zerglings. as we see HuK doing mostly storms at the start of the fight and then quickly transferring over to Archons with the used up Templar. Now most of these Ultralists quite low, trying to micro back and save those. Check out the unit tab, or the army tab, 2500 for HuK, so he does need to push this advantage at this point, but 3 spine crawlers in position for Rhett. If we look at Rhett, 130 of 200, so he does have a lot of units in production, 4 Ultralists as well as 6 Zerglings, and it looks like he did just complete a Greater Spire as well, so perhaps a tech switch over to Broodlords will help take down the majority of the gateway units for HuK, especially those Immortals, largely ineffective against Broodlords. As we see storms going down, most of them missing these Zerglings, now a few of them hitting the frontline Zerglings, and again, mostly Ultralists trying to tank damage. We see more Spine Crawlers coming up from the south. That's got to tip HuK off that there is the gold base taken at the south, and now Rhett just trying to hold the line as more and more Ultralists are going to be pouring out, as well as Zerglings, pulling back, letting these Spine Crawlers do work. We see another High Templar in here, not enough energy, needs to find a brother and get creating into an Archon. The Immortal coming in for HuK, going to be quite powerful against the Ultralisk. And now these Zerglings, good storm, taking down his own Stalker there, but the majority of the Zerglings as well. More Ultralisks streaming out for Liquid Rhett. They need to attack together here, try to take down the Immortal. Again, the 2 attacks of the Ultralisk can rip through the Immortal quite quickly. Actually, might just have 1 attack there. And it looks like Rhett is able to clean that up. If we check the army tab, it's now 2,000 to 1,250, so I wonder if HuK, just being on these 3 bases, seeing his income actually quite even with Rhett, so maybe just unit comp there, those Ultras being so powerful against the gateway units of HuK. Looks like we have a few Corruptors coming out for Rhett at this point, and Ultralists as well, so Rhett sinking all of his resources into these tier 3 units, moving more Spine Crawlers into position here. And HuK really needs to take down this, well, the gold expansion is largely mined out now, so just about 800 gas left on these 2 extractors. So Rhett moving the Spine Crawlers into position, going to try to focus down these Immortals. The Immortals with the +1 upgrade going to do 55 damage against those Ultralists. See the Immortals queued up to attack 1 Ultralist at a time together, and they're going to be so powerful. Those very expensive Ultralists being taken down quite quickly by those Immortals. The Archon coming in here with 350 shields, going to be tanking a lot of damage. Now we see the Corruptors coming in here, as well as a few Broodlords. They're going to be being created here by Rhett. So if Rhett's able to hold on to this expansion here, the Broodlords could cause lots of destruction on these Immortals. Getting a little bit tongue-tied. Lots of action here as HuK keeps pushing this middle line, trying to take down this hatchery. We do see the drones of Rhett retreating here, so very smart there. And now we see these Broodlords finally finished, and HuK moving into the side base of Rhett, well saturated. So if he's able to take down these drones, it could cut off the income of Rhett. See 62 Harvesters to 63, trying to focus down these drones, could blink after them. Now these Broodlords coming in, they want to focus down the Stalkers first, as that's the only AA on the field for HuK, besides this one Archon who's very low on shields. Pulling back the Broodlords as they get low. Again, the Broodlords with the 1 natural armor and 225 HP. They're quite powerful, especially against Protoss, as the only unit on the field right now that can take down these units is the Stalkers and sometimes Archons. Looks like HuK attacked down here, was able to kill both of the extractors, but not a lot of drones were down here, and again, there's no minerals left. So those drones should be transferring back to well, it looks like they have nowhere to go because these 2 hatcheries were taken down. So no income right now for Rhett besides these few patches in his natural. But he does have these Widowmaker Broodlords. He's got 7 of them right now, trying to plow through the units of the Protoss player HuK. Photon Cannon is going to be largely ineffective, as they will just target the broodlings as they spawn. Zerglings coming in to try to add extra DPS. Again, they have good Adrenal Gland DPS. Storms coming down, cleaning those up. Trying to focus down these Broodlords one at a time, but it takes so long with the armor and the HP that they have. And Rhett looks like taking down the majority of the army of HuK. HuK mostly mined out at his 3rd here, did not take a 4th. Check out the insane saturation he has here. So never taking that 4th, probably could have cost him, as both players trading armies, and it looks like Rhett was the person with the bullets left in the gun at the very end, as he did have these Broodlords, kind of a difference maker, doing a tech switch from tier 3 Ultralisk over to those Broodlords, and HuK had nothing to really combat the Broodlords. So as Protoss, you hardly ever get out Void Rays or the Phoenix, which could help soften up the Broodlords just a little bit, but HuK mostly staying on gateway units, and Rhett doing a very smart thing, and Idra will tell you that as a Zerg in this PvZ matchup, you basically want to hang back, macro up if your opponent will let you, and never attack, and then waiting for your Protoss opponent to attack, as we saw HuK move out there and had Storms and had Blink Stalkers, as well as a few Archons and Zealots pushed into the main and the natural of Rhett. Rhett was able to defense that with Zerglings and that Mutaball. The Mutaball taking a few Storms there, but the Muta count was high, as Rhett was able to pull those out of the Storms at the last second, and was able to take down the entire army of HuK, and then did what all good Zergs do, and that is counterattack, busted through those rocks, and made it into the natural of HuK there, was able to focus down the Templar Archives, which cut off the production of High Templar for just a few moments, and at that point I think that HuK was kind of scrambling to get up a 4th base, which he never did, and Rhett was just able to macro up, and at the very end had those Broodlords, and HuK had no answer for them. So pretty good game all around from both players. HuK is a little bit weak in the PvZ matchup. He did not make GSL Season 3. Not sure if it was because of that or not, but we will root for Rhett to move forward in that tournament. He's already made it past the round of 64 into the round of 32, and the round of 32 should happen sometime this week. So just wanted to bring you this game between the two teammates, and HuK will have a lot more liquid teammates to practice against, as TLO is swapped over to Zerg, and Rhett, very solid player as well. So thanks for watching this one. If you want to check out more StarCraft 2 action, check out my channel Matron Starcraft at youtube.com. I'll see you guys next time.